Hello, everyone, and welcome to Pop Counterculture Spooky Season 2024, when we are celebrating the newest horror auteurs and the new horror classics. And today, we're talking about Joel Anderson's 2009 horror movie, Lake Mungo. Now, I know what a lot of you guys are saying. 2009, that was like 15 years ago now. Holy crap, 15 years ago. I don't know how that qualifies as new, and a lot of you are correct. That is not a newer movie by any means, but this is a movie that has only recently started to get the sort of attention that it's always deserved, and I want to celebrate this movie because this is one of my favorite horror movies that I've seen within the last 5 years. Lake Mungo is a fake documentary about a family in mourning after their daughter/sister drowns mysteriously in a dam. And what makes this movie so special is that what starts off as a sort of like straightforward found footage-ish faux documentary horror movie eventually gives way to something a lot more honest and a lot more tragic and heartbreaking. And that is this sort of portrait of this family that was always kind of broken, but it didn't really come to the surface until the loss of this family member. It's very much a movie about a family that doesn't really know each other as well as they thought, and they are discovering who each other is through this really traumatic event. What's really interesting is how the sort of paranormal elements come into play with that, because the movie has a really interesting sort of relationship with the paranormal, where at times it very much is critical of it, very skeptical of it, and at times debunks it. But then after a sort of very dark and interesting turn for this kind of movie, by the way, swings back to the more ambiguous until in the end it puts its foot down in one place, and it's made all the more powerful for it as it changes the nature of the entire story. I think where this movie really succeeds is how all the horror elements in this movie are very character driven. The father, he just kind of goes back to work and he's the most down to earth character in the movie, but the brother and the mother, for reasons that we discover later on, they're having a lot more problems, a lot more issues trying to process this death. And we sort of follow them while they go down all these crazy rabbit holes in different directions to try to finally come to terms with this great loss. But what I think really makes this movie so powerful is the third act of this movie. The whole movie is working up to just this one great big scare, and it's not like a jump scare or anything like that. It's very literally like a slow reveal. As soon as you see this image, the great tragic mystery at the center of the movie, it all clicks. And as scary as it is, it's also just so goddamn sad. It's so heartbreaking. The big reveal and then the very, very end, so haunting on not just a visual level, on a sort of filmmaking level, but on a philosophical and existential level. Now, there is one little bit of criticism that I have towards this movie, and it's that, like, the reveal is so troubling and it's so, like, dark that the movie then spends a little bit too much time trying to give this family a happy ending afterwards. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think it's a logical conclusion to the sort of arc that the family is going on, but this is a horror movie, and one of the great things about horror is that it can be tragic and it can be sad, and it can do so unapologetically, because that's sort of the appeal of horror. And I think this movie kind of like spends a little bit too much of its time trying to wrap everything up in a nice little bow. And as much as that does bug me, the last final twist of the knife that this movie gives is in its final credits. Just when you thought the movie has fully revealed the big picture here, the final credits works in this last little bit of information. The paranormal aspects in the final credits is the only aspect that is not motivated by any of the characters in the story. And so it's something that they're not aware of, but we are as the audience. While this family was, I don't want to say anything about it, but if you know, you know. Right? And I definitely want to hear from anybody who has seen this movie. And if I've definitely like got you interested in it, go check it out. It's an absolute modern classic in my opinion. And that's why I'm putting it here in Spooky Season 2024. And if you like this video, make sure you hit like and subscribe. Until next time, I've been Ed. You've been awesome. Peace.